UK services, Lavarzi and who1.co.uk present the 20 Megabyte Doctor Who podcast.
Hello and welcome to the 20 Megabyte Doctor Who podcast, episode 546. I'm Adam, and I suppose I could have looked up a quote, but I couldn't be bothered, and here's Ben Shoveler.
I suppose I could have found out which episode we're reviewing if you're going that far, mate.
I don't know what I'm doing.
I don't know what I'm doing here tonight.
It was mentioned quite a while ago. Mary Lang.
7852.
Kirby Bartlett Sloan.
I despise Christmas.
Yes, I know you do, but can you do a quote, please? Well, okay.
That was his quote.
Oh. This week we're going to be talking about all
Marilyn,
sorts of
get
stuff.
your coat.
All sorts of stuff, I suspect, but somewhere along the line, Doctor Who will be included in the content of the show. Now, just in case anybody's picked up this show that may have picked it up via Deb's efforts at FantasyCon, hi! We'd best be on sort of best behaviour, i.e. Skimming through the episode we're going to be talking about today as quickly as possible.
Surely that's giving a complete false representation of what normally occurs during our gathering of podcastery.
No. It's giving a true representation of what's going to be occurring.
We could do a synopsis, just a couple of sentences.
Yeah, I mean, if it's going on like that, we could wrap up the whole podcast in 10 minutes.
Doctor Who's
we could change it to the 20-minute Doctor Who podcast.
Yeah, and why are we skimming through? Is there something that we're getting to that we have to hurry through this?
No. Well, feedback seems to take an awful long time in this show, which is good. I've always wanted that.
But Master.
What?
There's very little feedback on my end.
Well, that's fine. That
doesn't mean to say I haven't got a lot of feedback, does it?
We can all get on with our lives.
There's 3 if you count Roberts.
Right. I get feedback as well, Kirby.
Right, you do?
Tell you what, let's put a clock on it tonight. Let's see how quickly we can do this.
We're not doing so good so far. We haven't even got into the episode yet.
Okay. Right. Reset the timer in 3, 2, 1, go.
Hang on. I'm just opening up my other Facebook page.
That's 4 seconds wasted, Adam.
I'm opening up my other Facebook page so as I can...
9 seconds that we could have been finished
earlier. It begins with a fluffy planet. A spaceship is crashing into this fluffy planet, and it's the saucy Rory and Amy up to honeymoon stuff on a spaceship, but the spaceship's crashing and they need the Doctor. I noticed that the pilot of the spaceship, I've seen him in other stuff, might even seen him in Doctor Who actually, got a very familiar face, but never mind. So they want the Doctor, and then the title sequence gets in the way a little bit. And then we see some sort of stereotypically sort of Christmassy steampunk scenes of sort of futuristic-y, Dickensian, yes?
The co-pilot, since you said he, played Benjamin Gale on The Bill.
Okay, not familiar with the Bill.
And he's also in Emmerdale as Dr. Jerome Bailey.
Okay. I think I've seen him in other stuff as well, but don't worry about that. So, so it's just seeing these sort of scenes of sort of Dickensian, sort of steampunky people going about their Christmassy business on this, which we can probably presume is even from the opening sequences, it's not Earth, it's a alien planet that happens to have Christmas, probably an Earth settlement. I do like the when they have that shot of what looks like the Albert Hall extended, and there's the stuff coming down from the sky, there's like a lightning stuff, like plasma-y stuff, and all the buildings around it are very sort of George Orwell sort of inspired steampunk buildings, which is quite cool. And within one of those windows is Dumbledore.
Dumbledore!
Before he grew his beard,
Dumbledore!
Obviously. Interesting that he hadn't shot the Deathly Hallows, because obviously he was dead by that point, while this particular production had been made. I mean, not Gambon, I mean, Dumbledore was dead.
The first Dumbledore actor was already dead.
Yeah, well done, Kirby. Anyway, when you can assume from these opening, never mind. We can assume from these opening scenes that, bear in mind it's called A Christmas Carol, that he's the Scrooge character, and within a little refrigerator is Catherine Jenkins, looking a bit pale.
Yay!
And at this stage, slightly inexplicably in a refrigerator. He's a bit mean. He comes across, and also he's got these sort of henchmen who are also wearing these steampunk glasses. And then they move on a bit, and there's a family scrounging. That's right, because that gives the sort of the Cratchits, is it, or Cratch? What's that family in Christmas Carol? Was it the Cratchits?
Yes, Bob Cratchit.
Cratchits. I nearly got it right. So they're the Cratchit family. Also happen to be related to Catherine Jenkins' character. I think, I can't remember. Anyway, they're doing a bit of scrounging, and he's saying no. And then the Doctor, Harry Potter-esque, arrives in the fireplace.
Yeah.
So that's a little
great arrival. Great arrival.
Yes.
And Christmas Eve, I thought, what the heck?
Yeah. Now just moving on, and he sort of starts playing.
And he mentions that he knows Father Christmas, and his name is, what was it?
Jeff.
Jeff, yes.
He immediately starts poking his nose in and winding up.
One of my quotes, Santa Claus, or as I've always known him, Jeff.
Yes, it was one of my quotes, but I couldn't.
That's a good quote. That I like that. Typical Moffat though. So he sort of immediately starts poking around and takes a dislike to Kazran because he's a nasty person. And something spurs the Doctor into deciding he's going to show Kazran a bit of himself, because obviously he's picked up the story.
Something spurs him. The fact that Kazran won't let the spaceship land.
Yeah, I know, because Amy's on it. Yeah, but he decides anyway to have a bit of sort of wibbly wobbly time fun with Dumbledore. And what?
Dumbledore.
Yeah, the occasional scene of Amy panicking on the spaceship, which goes out throughout the whole, production.
I love the way they all, say, "What are you wearing?"
And then we get that really weird thing where there's fish flying around the lights, which is a bit weird. Yeah.
Do you have a problem with that?
That's a bit weird, just weird, isn't it? A bit weird. Never really got that thing about the fish. I suppose it was because they had an opportunity to do some special effects which involve fish and sharks. I don't know. Because this Kazran Sardak, doesn't he control the weather? He's got a machine that controls the weather.
Controls the cloud.
The clouds.
Yeah. And the clouds are causing problems with the spaceship, aren't they?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, I got a bit right. Ding for myself there. And then, of course, we see this little boy, which is little boy what is it, whatever the name is, Dumbledore, and he's basically watching this unfold on the screen. Some sort of video diaries that he did as a child with his dad that looks remarkably like Dumbledore.
Dumbledore,
but even nastier. Because there's a scene, isn't he, where I forgot to mention this, when he's going to thwack the little boy, the sort of Cratchit nipper around the head, and he stops himself. But why? That's what the Doctor said. Why did he stop himself? Let's go back and see what happened in his childhood that stopped him from thwacking this child. And of course, it was because his dad was a bit of a child abuser in regards to thwacking him when he was little.
There's nothing wrong with a good thwacking.
Anyway, so during these little visits to Junior, Kazran, he starts striking up a bit of relationship with him. I'm gonna just cut to the bit. There's a bit where the fish come down, and of course the comedy bit. Of course, he's basically the Doctor's tempting the fish down with a screwdriver, this sonic screwdriver. And they didn't realise it was actually tempting this massive shark. How it got into the room, I don't know. How did it get into the room, Kirby?
Through the window.
Through the window.
Oh,
yeah, open window.
I didn't see the open window. So anyway, eats the screwdriver.
Yeah, Master, crystalline fog carrying an electrical charge is how the fish fly.
Okay, that's fine. It's Alien, isn't it? So science fiction fantasy TV show.
So it doesn't bother me at all. It's in that scene.
Did I say it bothered me? All I said was it's a bit weird. That's what I said.
Yeah, it's a bit weird.
Yeah,
it's if it bothers you.
No, it doesn't. I did at the time, I believe, but it doesn't bother me now.
No, it bothered. That was one of the reasons why I hated this
It very much does sound like it bothers you.
No, it's all right. It's just a bit weird. I do love some of the cinematographicness on it. There's a scene where the Doctor's trying to dodge this shark that's sort of in this room, and in the background through the window is the TARDIS. I thought that was beautifully sort of rendered, that scene, and a dead fish on the bed. Or it might even be a toy one. Anyway, so the shark's eating the screwdriver, and things go on, and then the poor little sharky gets his head wedged in the door. And, of course, it's not doing the shark any good, but he gets one end of his screwdriver back because he reaches in to get it. But, unfortunately, it's not good news for the shark on that, of course. The shark basically dies. But the Doctor's only got half a screwdriver left.
The shark is just somehow sick. He's becomes fine later.
That's a different shark, isn't it?
Because Catherine Jenkins sings to him.
That's a different shark, isn't it?
No.
Oh. No, it's the same one.
Okay.
There's the continuity that it's always drawn to the other half of the screwdriver.
Anyway, sometime later, little Kazran takes the Doctor down into the dungeons where they've got all these refrigerators containing people with numbers on their doors and stuff like that. These are people that Kazran has sort of taken by way of insurance for people that owed them money. And now I'm going to be told that's wrong. Wait for it.
No, it's correct.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm doing on fire with this episode.
Yes, you are.
And within, obviously, one of these refrigerators is the rather chilly-looking Catherine Jenkins, who they let out eventually after a bit of poking around and with an incident with a fish. And then I'm going to just cut a long story short. When they get Catherine Jenkins out of the refrigerator, the number on the door goes down, but they all go on little Christmas Eve adventures every year, and gradually during these adventures a relationship develops between Kazran and I can't remember the woman's name now. What was the woman's name? Catherine Jenkins.
Abigail.
Pardon?
Abigail Pettigrew.
Abigail, that's it. I'll try and remember that.
Pay attention.
Well, it was obvious that they were going to end up falling in love. Well, initially, it would have been a bit inappropriate because he was a little boy, but eventually, after some sort of funny little adventures they have, like the Doctor getting married to Marilyn Monroe, and I do believe there's another little mini episode relating to that somewhere in the ether.
I think so.
Yeah, I think so.
But what I like is when they show up wearing Fourth Doctor scarves.
Hell, they always do that from time to time in Doctor Who. Anyway, so yeah, like you say, Abigail at some point sings the shark back to health, and off they go on a little sort of flight. And Kazran is starting to melt, the old Kazran, these new memories that the Doctor's implanting in his mind. He's starting to remember that, or realise that he's in love with this Welsh bird. So I'm just checking, I've got a vibration on my phone. But after we get the numbers go down and she's starting to go down to her last day, and there's a point in which he's in love with her, but if they get her out of the fridge anymore, she's going to die. He then goes back to being grumpy, Kazran, and just goes back to what he was doing.
He became more grumpy than I thought he should be. But
very angry.
His life isn't fair, so.
But for a different reason than it was originally, so. But on the last, there's a point in which she goes to see her family, and there's all sorts of quite cute little things happen. Very Christmassy, actually, to be fair. And but obviously, the whole point of this story is so that the Doctor has an opportunity, or creates an opportunity to save Rory and Amy on the spaceship.
But he doesn't save Abigail. That's the only thing that bothers me.
Sorry? What'd you say?
She's still going to die. Abigail's going to die, so...
Yeah, I suppose...
That's the one thing that bothers me.
That she's going to die?
How can you save her if she's sick?
Yeah, exactly. It's not much you can do about it.
Find a cure?
That'd be a little bit too... No,
he is a doctor.
I know. I think we need to keep that aspect of the story in place. Anyway, so... she does get let out of the refrigerator to have a Christmas day, which is one thing she's not had with him. But it was really weird, sort of obviously good acting, but a bit weird where she's stroking Gambon's face and sort of, you've got a bit old, and it just feels a little bit creepy, this beautiful young lady.
She admires the fact that he saved her up, that it's been many years because he's been saving this up.
Yeah. But anyway, moving forward. After he's getting really anger. The Doctor sort of almost changes his mind by showing young Kazran, old Kazran, and he goes to strike his younger self, and he sort of has another moment of realization. And then, of course, they have their Christmas. And somewhere along the line, Catherine Jenkins singing communicates with the other end of the sonic screwdriver, which is inside the shark, and clears the clouds.
She's calming the crystalline atmosphere is what she's doing.
Yes, that's right. Yes, that's right. And
you need to ding Mary for that.
Oh, right, Mary. There you go. And what happens is that, they're saved, but not everybody lives, because obviously. But at least she survives the whole episode. I know we know she dies afterwards, but we see some nice scenes of her flying around in a Christmassy way, being pulled in a sort of sleigh by a shark, and and that's basically the story. Now,
yep. And how much did I interrupt you? Not that much.
Well, it was really worth interrupting me, because that was
just to clarify, not to argue.
Yes, indeed. Right, so.
13 minutes, 54 seconds.
It was a while since we last did this one, I must admit. But I'm going to say what I thought about it.
Master, it's been so long. It was just you and Alicia.
Well, there you go. So I just want to say, obviously I haven't seen it since then, because I don't sort of really watch this stuff over and over again. As I could do, there's only a few episodes I'll watch for the sake of it, Silence in the Library, things like that. But this one I haven't watched for a while. I seem to remember not really liking it the first time it was out. But obviously we're moving into the Christmas season now, and watching it, I actually enjoyed it. I thought it was quite good. Like Mary's pointed out, little sort of things that might not have made sense to me, having only watched it once at the time. And there are parts of it that do link together. And it is a science fiction thing. It is a Christmas story. It is in context for what it is. I thought it was lovely to see Gambon in Doctor Who for starters, and a one-off for Catherine Jenkins. But it was just very pretty. I think it's nice to have a steampunky story like that in Doctor Who. It doesn't happen very often. I know there's a lot of steampunk fans out there. I think it's pretty, and the music is beautiful. That song that she sings at the end, I know it was a big thing at the time. I think I bought it off iTunes, but absolutely lovely. And they sort of used Catherine Jenkins's beauty and her talents really well in the story.
I've got a song in my iPod, and I play it periodically.
It's good, isn't it, Mary? I think it's a lovely tune. And all in all, I think it's a thoroughly charming Christmas story. It's not the best, but it's a charming Christmas story. What did you think about it then, Ben?
My first question is, what did I think about what? Because I still have no idea which episode you're talking about.
Carol, Doctor Who version.
He hasn't seen it.
In that case, it's a brilliant story, isn't it, Ben?
I loved it.
Yeah, right. Go. So what did you think about it then, Kirby?
Well, when I first saw it, I hated it.
Oh, okay. Well, then what did you think about it? Oh, sorry.
Wait.
But now...
and for a long time it was on the bottom of my list of the Christmas episodes.
Right.
Until that really stupid one.
The Chibnall era, you mean?
No. Until, I forget where the Doctor is in a spacesuit backwards and falls to the ground. The 11th Doctor, I forget.
Yeah, I've got a funny feeling we're not going to hate that as much.
Oh, I'll definitely hate that one again. But
Bill Bailey's in that one.
This one though, this one used to be very close to the bottom, if not the bottom.
Okay.
For me, and so I never went back and rewatched it other than around that time. And as I said, we never actually, the current makeup of the 20 Megabyte Doctor Who podcast, which we never actually did it. It was just you and Alicia a long time ago.
So did you, by way of research, listen to that episode?
No, I didn't have a chance.
So I wonder what we thought of it.
Been very busy. I planned to, but real life got in the way. Okay. Anyway, I watched this with Fred the other night and absolutely loved it. She liked it less than I did because she doesn't like opera or the style, which is opera type singing. from Katherine Jenkins. Okay. I absolutely loved it. I had no problem with the things I thought were problems originally, like the fish, the shark. It all blended in, made sense. In the context of the story, it is a science fiction fantasy TV show. That part made sense, and it was really good. And I do have one more thing before we go on to Mary. Around the time that this came out, Katherine Jenkins, I was living in Tennessee, and my mother liked watching Dancing with the Stars, what you call Strictly Come Dancing.
What the world calls Strictly Come Dancing, Kirby, apart from America, who call it something god-awful bastard.
I know. Anyway, my mother liked to watch that, and so I was watching with her, and eventually Katherine Jenkins became one of the contestants. But before she was a contestant, right around the time that this story came out on Doctor Who, she came in and just sang for the show. And during the same show, one of the co-hosts, one of the presenters, made some sort of comment about how I believe someone on the panel of judges was dressed. And he said to the guy, "You have a very nice bow tie. Bow ties are cool." And that was just a throwaway line, but I knew that that particular presenter had to have been a Doctor Who fan.
Splendid. Thank you for that, Kirby.
I even made a note on it on the Facebook group, which you can join.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Have you done?
Yes, I loved it.
Good. Okay.
What's not to love?
Mary, what did you think?
I think we're about to find out.
I loved it the first time I saw it.
Yes.
I loved it a little bit more the second time I saw it. And I really, really loved it this third time that I saw it. This is my most favorite of all the Doctor Who Christmas episodes. And there are some real, hunkers on that list. But so it's not that, not that big of a competition, but truly, I mean, this so encompasses everything that I love about the 11th Doctor. He's so childlike. He's so effervescent in this. It's like watching, a young teenager, having the best time of his life. And I loved the idea of the honeymoon suite and Amy in her kissogram outfit and and Rory in his outfit. Just everything about it. This is very tightly directed. There's not a wasted moment. There's lots of times when it's like, oh, this is the boring part, and I'll skim through. This does not have any of those. It is just so well done. And I love the music. And, of course, Murray Gold wrote those songs that Katherine Jenkins sang.
Yes.
And so that's it. I love it. It's the best Christmas one out there, and that's all I have to say.
Well, I'm glad you liked it. I'm also glad that my opinion of it has changed. I just felt it was just warm and cuddly. I just at the time was, what a bloody hell fish, for God's sake.
It's sad. It's also funny, and it's also joyous. It's everything.
Yes, it is.
It's also the things there's aspects of it that I always like, which is wibbly wobbly timey wimey stuff, which is plenty of that.
Yeah, that was great.
His jumping around in time. Yeah, I really loved that too.
Yeah, it's
walking out of the room and into the memory. That was fantastic.
I admit that. No, it's funny how you change your opinion in time, isn't it? How many years ago was that made? That what's that? Probably 11 years, probably.
I've read criticisms.
No, this is 12 years.
12 years, yeah. Okay.
I've read criticisms about how Michael Gambon was wasted because he spent most of the episode watching television. But the thing is, he's such an amazing actor that he can make watching television.
It was a bit of a gift, wasn't it, having him in it, really?
Yeah,
his
reactions, everything.
He wasn't already a humongous star, and he was great. I mean, I think that was an ensemble. So it's just a shame in some ways that Rory and Amy were sort of pushed off to the side. They were just sort of an avenue for the story to get on without them, really.
I wonder why that was. Were they not available? Because it seemed like they just were barely there.
They were in it.
Every story doesn't have to feature everybody all the time.
True.
Oh, by the way, I found the Christmas one that I dislike savagely. It's The Next Year, The Doctor, the Widow, and the Wardrobe.
Like savagely. Oh dear. Right then, so
11th Doctor. I mean, not the 11th. The 12th Doctor ones are terrible.
Okay. Right then, so moving on.
Well, we'll get around to those.
To the bit that you say we haven't got much on your side of things in regards to the feedback. We've got Terry Miles obviously said good evening everybody. Lillian Robin said hi, and then you guys are hilarious, obviously talking about me and Ben, and then yay for Mary. Okay, so go on then, Kirby. Let's see what we've got.
Okay, let me refresh the page since I last.
Could you not have done that, in advance for a change?
I got involved.
It's not
with
as if you don't know it's coming up, do you?
Okay, should I go back a week?
No, eh?
Yeah. Let me go back a week.
Oh yeah,
first.
well that might be a good idea because somebody in another.
Yeah, we had one mention.
One mention.
Last week. Where is it? I
don't know. You tell me.
Go through all this fantasy con stuff.
It's your section of the show,
Yeah, well, I had to go through all this fantasy con stuff that happened between.
Oh, I do apologize.
Aaron Danvers Jukes
yes.
said, I remember this episode, Christmas Carol, but at time of writing, not too much. It was memorable. I love the music. Now, I wish I'd checked this post when I got home from the con, as I could have watched the episode and left feedback. Ah, well, you're stuck with this instead. Speaking of con, at the time of writing, it's the day of Fantasy Con with Adam and crew. I'm sat here on my computer typing this, getting ready to go. Oh, wait, I've still got a whole hour to go yet before we even leave the house. All right, you're now stuck with a very excited, typative Aaron typing feedback. Oh, my. So how about this for wibbly-wobbly, timey-wimey? By the time this feedback gets read, the future would have happened. The con would be over for another year, which is actually really sad if you think about it. There's some extra feedback in the feedback Gmail address, so I've now got no idea whether this one's going to be read first or if the email one might be slid in somehow. If this one gets read last, then the future definitely would have happened. Wink.
You should be writing Doctor Who.
This is good. I have a feeling next week's podcast feedback for me is going to be a big one. You thought the podcast feedback for November 7th is a long read? Just you all wait until November 14th. Until then, a very excitable Aaron signing off. And let me go up and read the one other that we have for this story. Boy, there's a lot of posts.
You said there wasn't much.
No, there's a lot of posts.
No, in between.
There's not a lot of feedback. Andy jumped the gun and asked, is it a Christmas Carol this weekend? And I responded with correctamundo, a word I've never used before and hopefully never use again.
Yeah, I'll go along with that one, Kirby.
Disgraceful.
Yeah.
Neil James, A Christmas Carol. I love this story. The direction is stunning and the music is beautiful. Michael Gambon is such a class act. Yes, his character is blatantly Scrooge, and couldn't Moffat have thought of a more original title. But it's so Christmassy, he gets away with it. Matt Smith is clearly having fun, and Katherine Jenkins does a great job. It's definitely too long, and the final act drags slightly. But on the plus side, we get to see Amy in that police uniform again. Merry Bloody Christmas! 4 stars out of 5. And you want me to read Robert's?
Well, if he's written something and it's relevant to what we're talking about, yes.
Okay, so anyway, my thoughts on the story. I was prepared to thoroughly hate it. Bah, humbug. Apart from frivolous stuff that always annoys me, usually stuff that Moffat thinks is humor, it was okay. I still think the fishes in the air stuff is rubbish. I did like the device of watching things on a screen, the recording which the Doctor goes from one time to another. Funny, but whenever I heard the singing and it mentioned the word silence, my ears pricked up. Me too. Of course, it has nothing to do with the coming series, just a coincidence. I just wish Moffat wouldn't spoil things with his Moffat touches. It'd be a better story without them.
Oh, is that it?
Yes.
Marvellous, thank you. Well, the stuff come through. The trouble is I'm a bit all over the place because where I wasn't allowed to do the show on the 6th, we did do a show on the 30th, didn't we? So I'm lost where I am.
Yes.
Right, okay,
yes.
Then. We did on the show 30th because I remember a certain person being on it. So if I move up my list of stuff here that may or may not have come through, I've got Aaron who's done a review on Big Finish. Should we do that later, or do you want to do that now?
A review of Finish?
Yeah. See, where he's blind, the Big Finish episodes have a different sort of dimension to him.
Very good dimension. That's good.
Thank you.
Yeah. Well, I'd save it then and
We'll
just
save
do
it for the
everything
end
related
bit,
to
shall
this
we?
episode right now.
Okay.
Just don't forget, because there are times that we
it's right.
forgot.
I'm going to delegate the reminder to Mary, who's particularly good at remembering stuff. Right, moving further up, I'm going to miss someone. I've got this one from Brandon Moore, which I'm going to send to Kirby. Gloria and Kirby has qualified in the best reader of Brandon Moore's feedback departments. What do you want to make? Kirby.
Why did he send it instead of
Bone. Here it comes, Kirby. You have it now. Okay. While you're reading that, I can send all the other stuff for everybody else.
Okay. Big fleshy lighty things have got me written all over them. Well, not actually. Give me time and a crayon. A Christmas Carol by The Feast of Stephen Moffat. I absolutely adore this story. Since its broadcast has almost become something of a family tradition to watch this episode each Christmas. It's dripping with... What was that?
That was me sending some stuff to Mary.
Fine.
Don't get distracted.
I'm easily distracted. It is dripping with festive atmosphere and always helps to get me into the spirit of the season. The central premise of the story seems somewhat familiar. Maybe it's a book or something. Anyway, it's a neat idea to use for a time travel show, and the fact that the source material is acknowledged by the Doctor is a great touch. Matt Smith is simply excellent. Every scene of his is a highlight. His Doctor is now fully formed and in full flow. He commands much of the story and has great chemistry with all iterations of Kazran. There are so many little touches and mannerisms that Smith has now refined to perfect his performance.
Absolutely.
Gambon does a good job as Kazran. Understand that he was less than positive about his performance when asked about it at a later date, but it seems fine to me. Perhaps nothing special, but good enough. I think the youngest iteration of Kazran is particularly good. At this period of Who's history, they really do seem to be striking gold with their child actors. Catherine Jenkins is also good as Abigail, though isn't it lucky she's got such a great singing voice? A special mention must be given to Toby Haynes for the episode's superb direction, which really stands out. There are also some nice shout-outs to both Star Wars and Trek, as well as throwbacks to Jaws, Aliens, and The Snowman. Now, there's a movie marathon for you. Karen Gillan is hot!
Yeah.
So it's a
Already
shame
established that, though.
much of the episode stuck up on that spaceship.
It's not the only thing that got stuck up, was it?
But hey, at least we get to see that she always dresses for the occasion. That aside, this is a very strong and enjoyable episode. In fact, it's my favorite of the Christmas specials and one of my top 10 Who's. For the third consecutive episode, this is a 10 out of 10. Next time, Neil Armstrong's foot.
Thank you. You've got some Terry Miles, haven't you, Mary?
Yep. And Terry says, first off, sorry to say the railway companies wouldn't allow me to attend Fan TC Con.
Yeah.
Glad it went off okay.
But everybody else got here, Terry.
Yeah.
Okay. And now back to the plot. Christmas Carol. I'm sure I've heard that title before. We have a space liner in trouble within the atmosphere of a planet. Small problem. It's where Amy and Rory are having their honeymoon. I will not mention the police and Centurion uniforms. Oh, I just did. Well, on the subject, where was Amy's fake radio? Those legs, they go on forever. Love the looks the crew gave their appearance. Yeah, I did too. The chap who is running the planet doesn't care if the liner crashes. Why was he like that? Oh dear, that's going to annoy the Doctor. What will the Doctor do? I know, kids, let's redo A Christmas Carol. For Scrooge, we have the great Gambon playing Kazran Sardik. Then we have the gorgeous Catherine Jenkins as Tiny Abigail. Her sister's family as the family of Bob Cratchit. I don't have anything to say other than Charles Dickens did do it better. In quotes, finally, a lie too big for the psychic paper, end quotes. Yeah, I like that, the way he broke the psychic paper with his
Yes.
And in quotes, I've only got 2 goes. Then it's your turn. 2 arms. All in all, a good, silly Christmas tale. Now back to Doctor Who with the impossible astronaut. More of the backstory of River and her very tight trousers. Stay safe and well, everybody. Linda and Terry Miles.
Yes, in regards to Terry not being able to get, I'm not saying he couldn't get there, obviously, but his saying he had the problems with the trains did worry me a little bit, because obviously Michael Valliard, Jason, that's it. Michael Jason also travelled to the event by train, and he got there. So I suppose it depends where he's coming from, doesn't it? Okay, I suppose
he didn't try hard enough.
He didn't try. So you said, Kirby says you didn't try hard enough, Terry.
Well, good evening, 20 megabyte. It's Anthony here. Sunday evening, back in the bath as usual, the papers and tea, and thought I'd do a piece about Christmas Carol, which actually was 8 ago, but for some reason you keep postponing your recordings.
It's called having a life.
Anyway, Christmas Carol, quite enjoyable, bit of a romp. I suppose it's Christmas. It starts off with the space line that's currently crashing, and you assume that the story is going to be all about that. But actually, that turns out to be a complete red herring. Because although ultimately it is about the Doctor trying to save the people by getting Kazran to stop the ship from crashing, it's more about his personal relationship. And you've got Abigail, who we the first think she's holding hostage, and then we find that there's more to it than that. And yeah, this is all about him meeting up with her every Christmas Day, to spend Christmas Day together. It sounds simple enough, but obviously there's a lot more to it than that. You find out that actually she's terminally ill, and the last time they meet with her last day, you find out that he was madly in love with her, realised what was going on, and then basically dumped her. What is very clever is the parallels to the real Christmas Carol, which I think is one of the greatest Christmas stories ever written, are so clear. He's almost Ebenezer Scrooge. He's a lonely old man, very rich, but doesn't give a damn about anybody else. Doesn't seem to spend, well, actually, does seem to spend a bit more money than Scrooge. If you've ever seen the Scrooge films, he always seems to live in abject poverty, whereas this guy, Kazran, does actually live in relative luxury. And also you get a bit of a backstory about how he's terrified of his father. Now, I thought the very clever bit was when the Doctor goes back in time and starts manipulating time. Not sure about time at a fixed point, but anyway, this is a science fiction. Come on, Kirby, you can fit it all in for me. I can never remember that phrase. But that's a very clever bit in the way that he is able to interact through time with himself. And you see Kazran growing up. You see the young boy, the teenager, the young man, and then it all falls apart, and you have to wonder why it does fall apart. And then at the end when, very lucky old man has this gorgeous young lady. Okay, admittedly she's dying, but, who's probably by then about 60 years younger than him. So I'm guessing that Michael Gambon, he's in his 80s now. Oh, Sir Michael Gambon, of course I should say, is now in his 80s. But that voice is very clever. There's Rory and Amy, because being a bit past, I think they were just there at the beginning, at the end. Yes, they're on the honeymoon suite, and he's in his centurion outfit, and she's in a policewoman's uniform. Say no more, nudge, nudge, wink, wink. We'll leave that one there, shan't we? But this again is a Doctor going off by himself and doing his own thing, and it's sort of in a way he does adopt the young Kazran as almost like a pseudo companion, which I think is very cleverly done as well. Bit at the end with the sleigh, real Christmas reference there, which is good again because they had the references to the Christmas. You had the people in the house, again parallels to the real Christmas Carol. All in all, it was a very, very enjoyable story. It wasn't meant to be really any part of the ongoing thread at the moment. We didn't have any reference to the fact that Amy basically just got Rory back, and it's I suppose the whole point of Christmas specials is they are special, they can stand alone, and but for what it was, we enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. I think probably. Well, I don't know about Ben, but I'm sure everyone else enjoyed it. But until next time, then, folks, be seeing you.
Ben, he's being mean to you, mate.
No, he's not.
He's not.
No, he's not. He's got an opinion. It's probably quite right.
Okay, before we move on to... we've got this. Oh, God, I almost forgot. Hang on, bear with. I should have been ready for that, but I was actually found Andy's feedback particularly engaging.
Hello, 20 Megabyte Podcast. This is Ian Kirk.
Hello, Ian.
There isn't any lottery. A Christmas Carol by Stephen Moffat. Time travel in Doctor Who is often used just to get the TARDIS crew to the scene of the adventure. Moffat, as here, likes to make it part of the plot. The Doctor uses the TARDIS to try to change the character of Sardic. He almost fails because he doesn't know Abigail is dying and he is using up her remaining days. His motivation is to save Amy and Rory, who are both damsels in distress. Of course he succeeds in the end. It did not jump the shark. If the weather machine no longer works, and Abigail can't control the weather because she dies, does that mean the Doctor has doomed the whole planet to save the spaceship?
Yes.
Oh, good point.
Yeah,
I'm using my
really.
mobile to record this and not editing it, and if the screen goes blank, then there is several seconds of silence at the end, like last time. Bye for now.
Thanks for ruining the context of the story for us.
Yeah, we were all enjoying this.
Yeah. Can we go back and re-record our opinions of it now?
No.
Yeah, sorry. Somebody going to say something else? I didn't want to interrupt. Right, so what else we got here? But we have... Oh, hang on. I better continue with my what people are saying on the feed section. We ended with Lillian Robbins saying yay for Mary, and then... Jim Drury says, excellent Fantasy Con podcast. Good luck with organising another one. What, a podcast?
Yeah, good luck with that.
What? Sounds like a nightmare. No, I'll talk about more about that later. And then, good to see Adam hasn't put his tree up yet. That's what she said. And then Terry Miles says, Yabu sucks. Oh, what? That's in reference to me saying he could have come along after all. Oh, I wanted Terry. I wanted some of our listeners there. We normally have at least one. Alan T. Butcher. And last time we had two, Alan T. Butcher and Billy. But Billy only came to meet Ben anyway. So.
Yeah, my fame spreads around the world.
Yes. Okay, Ben, you have a certain piece of text from a certain counsellor that I've just mentioned.
The singing detective, or Kaz ran back and forth. Sorry, it doesn't say on my script, Kirby laugh. Dear 20 Megabyters, A Christmas Carol is, of course, a closely studied psychological intrigue into the formative experiences of a man and how they can seem to affect the development of his character. It should be noted that whilst some might say that... Do you know what? It's really bad, because I normally play that off my iPad. No, not my iPad, my iMac thing, iPad thing, the computer.
The computer,
which is now indoors, because I've now got two laptops, studio, as well as the Indie Rock Disco radio computer and my main computer. So I've got 4 screens out here now and a big telly, and I'm getting a new telly this week. And I still couldn't be asked to open one of them up and play Some Might Say Off. God, that sounds awful. That's why I should do it.
Okay. Yes.
No, I can't at the moment. Anyway, I will next time, maybe. It should be noted that while some might say that magical flying fish are too absurd to be on Doctor Who, but in fact Doctor Who is in fact Kirby.
Science fiction, it's a TV show.
And the key to presenting these... No, that was fine. It sounded good until he carried on and ruined my next bit. So it's a TV show. And the key to presenting these sorts of fanciful concepts is to have quality actors play it for real. There are even sharks... then even sharks can be up in the sky, which is a great Oasis reference, which I could have got, but... before mentioned, couldn't be bothered. You think we've got the quiz this week? No. We also learned that the third Dumbledore brother was Albus's twin, but even grumpier than Aberforth. Sounds like I'm reading stuff from the Bible. All in all, The Christmas Carol is a worthy reimagining of the Christmas Carol concept. It cleverly adapts the visions of the Dickens tale to visitations of a person through their life in Doctor Who context of actual time travel. The flying sharks and the Doctor's willful manipulation of a stranger through time travel mark this out as a special, with an unusual modus operandi and a slightly more magical atmosphere than is normal. Both guest stars are in quality addition for a programme clearly in a golden age, and the sidelining of the normal vital companions leaves room for a very different story and guests. This story is perhaps about a quarter of an hour too short, as who would have not wanted to see more of that singing? No? Maybe not. Maybe not.
Yes. I would have rather heard it, though.
Well, I prefer looking. Next up, Doctor Who and the Astronaut of Doom, or Nixon's Silent Majority. Oh, that's clever. Those are my thoughts. The one and only Reverend Lord and Master, King of Time, and next Prime Minister, Alan T. Butcher
Ricky.
Feedback from him.
Yes, indeed. Very good.
Okay,
okay.
it's me done.
Well, while I'm here, and they were sort of contesting FantasyCon. Okay, so there was a reference to it being a bit of a nightmare. Now, not entirely. I might have said that on the last show. So, anybody who hasn't listened to the FantasyCon special, basically...
I haven't.
I have.
Basically, we had a collection of celebrity guests, which all who were available up to about a month beforehand came. But that's fine. Everything sort of went. We set the place up on the Friday as we should, and Deb and Mick, my sort of he's my like a what would you call it, front of house manager. So basically, just managed it. When we started getting a bit too busy, Mick would fill the gaps. He was brilliant. So he came along, helped me bring all the celebs in, and then when we got in there, we got Michael Jaston and Joseph Milson say, "Where are our prints?" Meaning the prints for signing. So they were sat at their tables. "Where are our prints? Agents said you'd have our prints ready for us." Anyway, so I said I wasn't told any of that. Anyway, so the agent said he categorically told me that the prints, that I had to do the prints for them. To which, if I'd known this, I would have said, no, I don't have facility to print things because they're very expensive, etc., etc. So it meant that I had my laptop down there and I was trying desperately hard to get the thing to work with the computer. I had a phone call, and my phone was being used as the card payment machine anyway. And so Jeff Cummings phoning me while that was happening during this crisis was a very bad time. And he said, "I did send you a thing. It said quite clearly that you were to print off these pictures." Anyway, so then I sort of got on with trying to print them. I had to go home and get my other computer, the one I'm recording the show on, bring that down, set it up with a printer, blah-de-blah-de-blah, and then eventually start printing off these prints, which I did probably about 40 of them, and it's a very expensive on Epsom's own paper, so it probably cost me about 50 quid to print off their photos. So, yeah, that was a bit of an... And, of course, Michael Jason was going, "Well, that he told me he was absolutely sure that you'd be printing them." Well, I said, well, because I'm not overly confident in my ability to remember stuff, I said, well, maybe he did, I don't know. I've had so many emails come through. Anyway, after the event, I looked through emails. All he's done, he sent me a message saying, "Do you want me to send you some pictures for you to print?" To which case I didn't answer, and sent me the pictures without anything. It's just the pictures in the email, no body text or anything. So basically he didn't tell me that I had to print these off, because I would have said no. But anyway, eventually at 11 o'clock that morning, we opened at 9, the prints were done and they were more or less happy with them, etc., etc. But by then I was already...
And by that point they were asking, someday my prints will come.
By that time I was supposed to have already done Clive Mantle's photo ops and stuff like that, but we'd gone past that, and there weren't that many orders coming through for them anyway, so it wasn't a major disaster that way. But after that sort of was out the way and things were going quite smoothly, and Deb was sort of worrying about the financial side of things throughout the whole day and stuff like that. But towards the end of the event, it was blatantly obvious that we did have enough money to pay everybody, etc., etc., and probably, and more, to be fair, that the turnout was amazing. We now know that it's about 400 people that came along to the event. Wow. And
that's really good, mate. Well done. That's really good.
People didn't stay all day sometimes. The cosplay competition was amazing. You've probably seen the picture of everybody on stage. That's quite massive turnout of cosplayers, and not all of them wanted to go in the competition. So that's not all the cosplayers we had at the event.
I was really impressed by those photos, actually. Some of them looked really
I'm just
good.
frustrated because I didn't have time to take enough myself. I really wanted to go around. Nikki Simmons, who works at iwheroes.co.uk, she kindly took a lot of pictures for us. And there was another lady there taking pictures, and the Isle of Wight Candy Press lady took pictures and got everybody's names. Well, the Candy Press got the names wrong and called everybody geeks and nerds, and that offended some people. But
I don't. Why? How?
Because some people, my friend at work, he said, well, my son went along to it, but he's not a geek or a nerd. he was in cosplay. I just said, when it came about, I wrote to the Candy Press saying, don't use that term, you've offended people. Can you just use the cosplay community of the Isle of Wight or something like that? Oh, yes, of course, yes, I realise it. It didn't change. It was still geeks and nerds.
He said the geeks and nerds of the Isle of Wight cosplay community.
I don't know. But yeah,
there was one that certainly caught my eye. I'll put it that way as well.
What, geek and nerd? Or
one of the cosplay photos.
Oh, it's amazing. The cosplayers were amazing. I was blown away because this is obviously why we do the event. It's for the cosplayers.
That Totoro though had the longest legs I've ever seen for a Totoro.
Yes, but
it looked good though. It looked good.
Yeah, it's amazing. The effort was wow. I was just blown away. There was a
costumes
pouring with rain.
Really, very, very good indeed.
It was. It's just. But keep your expectations low. But it goes to show that there's a call for it on the Isle of Wight. It's difficult. It's so expensive getting off the island to go to events on the mainland, and it's nice that they didn't have far to travel to ours.
Just remember,
will there be another one?
Was a meeting on the 26th of this month so Deb seems to be saying that we probably will, but I mean that's coming from Deb, so I'm a bit tentative on that one. That's my Deb, not Debbie.
She's the one who would decide.
She's the one, yeah,
with all the power.
Well,
yes,
she seems to be up for. I think the fact that it at least broke even. She's I think she did enjoy that she enjoys the sort of the bit where she's good at dictating things and sort of organising things. You know what I mean? She
a titan of industry here.
What's the word for it? She basically conducted what went on in that hall. Everything was to the point and on time and organised, and what people were saying, it was really well organised, and they said that about last FantasyCon as well.
But they also said that about the Nazis. That's only joking, Deb. I love you. Really.
A coordinator, that's what it was.
Was Michael Jaston satisfied at the end?
Oh, he's a funny bloke, isn't he? He's all right. He enjoyed himself. Didn't make much money, but he enjoyed it. And we were quite happy to have him there, even though he kept on leaving his table. The poor old Tom Melrose because last time he had Josh Herdman who kept on leaving his table, and so he kept on getting told off by Deb for not keeping Josh at his table. And this time we gave him Michael Jaston who kept on leaving his table. So poor old Tom was getting a bit of a complex at the end because Deb kept on telling him, "Keep it at his table." But no, he's a funny man. But he's 2087, I think, so he's doing well. But in relation to the guests, we had obviously Clive Mantle, who is absolutely lovely bloke. He's just like he is his character in Casualty and the Vicar of Dibley's. Really lovely man, and his wife Carla Mendonça, who is in My Parents and Aliens. You can probably tell from the interview how absolutely lovely she is, and it's so charming and nice and genuine, and it was really quite heartwarming that these people are that nice, and because we want nice people at our event, we don't want anybody who's a bit of a prima donna, and we got lucky again. And I was so excited about getting Clem So at the event as well, and getting a chance to talk to him, and I could have talked to him for a bit longer than we did on the interview, because there's so much of his career that we didn't talk about. I mean, I watched a Doctor Who episode where I'll break out of what we normally do it in order, don't we? But we went to see a film called Black Panther: Wakanda Forever last night, and of course Letitia Wright is one of the main actors in that film, and we were referencing actors that have been in Marvel and Doctor Who, and of course she was in a certain Doctor Who story. Anybody remember? It's not a quiz. I just want to, because Kirby's usually quite good at this sort of thing.
Probably she played Martha's sister, maybe.
Martha's sister? No, she didn't play Martha's sister. No. She was in a story called Face the Raven, which turned out to be.
I've only seen. That's not one of my favorites, so I don't know.
Well,
me neither. So I
she's in that story. Do you remember a character which had a face on the back of their head?
Oh yes,
that's Letitia Wright. That's her. She played that character. And of course, in that episode is Clem. So he probably doesn't even remember he's in that episode, but you can quite clearly see he was a very prominent person in the backdrop. So, well, he doesn't keep his IMDb up to date. It's a bit of a shame, really. But it's nice sort of spotting.
Yeah, you mentioned that in the interview.
Yeah, I didn't know. I didn't find out because I just sort of, because Isabella was banging on about the chap that's in the bus episode with David Tennant, who was in the first Black Panther film. She couldn't remember who I was talking about, and I'm not very good with actors' names. So I think he got an Oscar or a BAFTA or something like that subsequently. And there's quite a few now that are sort of that have been in Doctor Who and moved into Marvel and DC. So yeah, anyway, so it's quite exciting that we've had such a who is now a big star, including obviously Karen Gillan herself. So
I do love the way you just said that you're not very good with actors' names, and then went on to also get the name of an actor's award mixed up. I mean, at least you're consistent with that, mate.
Yeah, I get my head gets muddled. Getting old, you see, Ben. So you'll get this next year when you start getting old.
Next year? Yeah, thanks for that. God, blimey, I thought about 5 years ago.
Yeah, some of us are already there.
Yeah.
So I didn't get a chance to have a picture properly taken with Joseph Milson because he was on stage when me and Deb were going around having selfies. So I'm a bit disappointed about that. Nice enough chap. And but unfortunately Loki grabbed him to judge on the cosplay competition and lost us 3 hours of him working at his table and getting his money, sadly. Loki was told it won't happen again. So all in all, I'm very happy with the celebrity guests we got. And especially Gareth, it was lovely, sort of almost a mini friendship that was grown up between me and Gareth during the time. I gave him our heritage passes so he could go in the Carisbrooke Castle and Osborne House with his family for free.
Did you remind him that I have met him?
No, that didn't spring to mind, Kirby, to be fair.
I'm sure that's immediately in your mind.
Yeah.
No, but I will say, Debbie did say that he'd been on the show before, and he remembered Conquer Cerberus. Didn't mention you, but he did remember Conquer Cerberus.
Okay.
But yeah, so when he arrived, I was going to hand over these passes, and I got a phone call from him to go and meet him at the house he was staying at, and we had a little chat and had a picture taken and stuff like that. And then I was at work, and he saw me in work. I sort of did the thumbs up, and he came over and I served him on the till while he was buying some stuff, and. Yeah, all in all, very, very quiet chap. He's very sort of soft. You wouldn't think he was an actor because he's not sort of, very thespian when he's being his normal self. He's very.
He's not quiet. Like Brian Blessed?
No, he's very quiet. He's not an extrovert. He's a very nice man.
Yes.
So yeah, it's really lovely having these people on the Isle of Wight at our event and everybody coming away. I'm still waiting for the first complaint because they always come through at some point. But everybody coming away really happy with what happened that day. So,
hold on, mate. You don't have to wait very long. I'm just typing you one out now.
What a complaint?
There is so little. Why do people not put stuff on YouTube?
Not a lot of people filmed it. Watch this space. I have edited all the Q&As down to individual Q&As. They will be going up on YouTube as soon as I can put them up there.
Okay.
So they're about no more than 20-25 minutes at the max each one. And I want to watch them because I didn't see any of the Q&As. I just heard them in the background while I was doing other stuff around the event. So I'm fascinated.
One of these days, I am absolutely fascinated by the Isle of Wight. One of these days I will visit.
Oh.
I watch every video that I can find about it.
You don't need to, mate. You're not missing a lot.
Well, make sure you get a lot of money to get across the bit of water between the mainland and the island because it's exceptionally expensive.
I'll get you across for £14,000, Kirby.
It will be by then. But no.
Well, you could bring me in as an American guest.
No, I couldn't. No, I couldn't do that. No, thank you, Kirby.
Yeah, you could.
No, I couldn't.
Bring him in as your biggest fan.
Try and make it in the summer if you do another one, mate.
No, it's not going to be in the summer. It'll definitely be in the time of year we had it this year.
You're going to struggle to get me to come across the water this time of year, pal.
Well,
Put it that way. Because I don't like water, and I really don't like it when it's not nice weather.
I'm sorry about that.
So...
But it's meant to be around the half-term time, and it's a colder time of year. Nobody's at the beach, and the nights draw in, so it's a perfect time. But as was proven by the football.
Can you fly me over?
No.
Okay.
Is there an airport on the island?
Yes, there is, but it's not the sort of airport that you would consider being,
Do you know what? I'm sure we could arrange a flight between Farnborough Airport
well, there is
and the Isle of Wight Airport.
You can fly over via the hovercraft, Ben.
That's not a flight. That's water. Yeah, that's sinkable.
No, you're flying.
Sinkable.
Well, that's all in the physics.
And it's quick. You only have to suffer it for about 7 minutes.
That's true.
How long is it if you're not hovercrafting?
If you go East Cowes, about 55 minutes. If you go Fishbourne to Portsmouth, about 45 minutes. If you go Lymington, about 35 minutes. If you go high speed to West Cowes, about 23 minutes or something like that, depending on how rough
scary
the water is.
on the water. Don't like
that's
water.
Southampton to Cowes. It's a good 13 miles. But anyway, we're all very happy and thrilled with FantasyCon. And hoping that some people who couldn't be bothered to, support us during the long process of organising it will, be a bit more forthcoming if we did end up doing another one. But what I can say to anybody who's listening to this show might think of coming to another one, it won't be in Cowes anymore, because sadly all the event venues in Cowes seem to think that everybody is a multi-million pound sailor that can afford to pay £2,000 a one day. In an event area. Whereas,
is there another place on the Isle of Wight you can do? I thought there was any Cowes.
Newport is. It's got plenty of locations.
Newport's in Wales.
No, Newport on the Isle of Wight.
There's
plenty
no
of places.
place called Newport on the Isle of Wight.
Well, can I get just before we move on? I'd say, for an example, so Cowes Enterprise College, where we did the first event. You were there, Ben. Right?
I was
that weekend.
And to be fair, I was the star.
You were, yeah. But they charged us. They would charge us £1,600 for that weekend.
And how much did I charge?
Can't remember.
Nothing. I made you pay my ferry fare.
Yes. Anyway, and so £1,600. When we asked them about doing another one there, they said it was £2,000 for one day.
1 day.
1 day.
Said no.
£900 plus a £325 plus VAT security bill, which we didn't need because we've got our own security staff that are prepared to do it for free. But we had to pay that. And there are most of the other places in Cowes that aren't big enough for us, unfortunately.
So
I didn't even get an answer from Norford House. So we're moving, if we do another one, we're moving to Newport because for example, again, at Medina College, which is a hall about twice the size of the main hall we did the event in at Cowes Enterprise College, which is more than big enough for us, £600.
Really?
Not £2,000 that Cowes Enterprise College are charging.
Does that mean if I do it next year, I can actually put in a bill?
You can what?
If I do it next year, you've got enough money for me to actually put a bill in this time.
We're still aiming for it to be a charity event, but we haven't got.
I don't do charity.
So yeah, it was very pleased.
So your walk to the location will be just another 5 minutes. I see.
What are you bloody going on about?
Making fun of the size of the Isle of Wight.
It's huge, mate.
If you want to walk it, you can walk. If you want to walk from the ferry terminal to Newport, that's entirely up to you. It used to take me an hour and a half. I used to go and solve doll checks when I was a teenager. So
everyone walks backwards on the Isle of Wight.
Oh, and then an hour and a half back again.
I'm walking backwards for Christmas.
Anyway, so thanks everybody who supported the event, came along, had fun, and told everybody they had fun. And I'm sure there'll be more pictures to follow on the FantasyCon social group, where you can see all the best stuff from the punters.
Well done you, Adam. I think you've done a cracking job, and it looks like it was a right success. So good on you.
Okay.
Pardon?
It's 5.2 miles to from your house to that college.
Yeah.
It would take you 1 hour and 44 minutes to walk, according to Google.
And if you walked at however that speed that was, if you walked a bit faster, if you walked at like 14 miles an hour, it wouldn't take that long.
Yeah. Anyway, moving on. So long and short of things of it was that FantasyCon was, thank God, what we always wanted it to be, a popular event among the fraternity of the Isle of Wight, and we're very proud of it.
Yeah, you should be.
All right.
If you're moving on, Adam, this would be a good place to put that feedback about Big Finish.
It would, and I, for some reason, typed in the wrong URL, Mary. So in between me finding the correct URL, I think I'll do a bit of filling by playing Aaron's email audio. I've just got to find it now because here it is. It might go on for a bit because he does know how to talk.
Hello, all listeners of the 20 Megabyte Doctor Who podcast. I am Aaron, and today I would like to bring you something a little different. Sorry about this. First time for everything. Well, I would like to bring a Big Finish review. This is a project called The Trial of the Valeyard. Oh my gosh, this is an absolute must listen. My context is I've never seen Trial of a Time Lord. I know that FantasyCon is coming up as of this recording. It's not happening till tomorrow. And the person that plays the Valeyard is at the con. So here's me thinking, okay, well, how on earth am I going to be able to find out about the Valeyard? And I remembered Big Finish. So away I went. And I bought a bunch of dramas ready for the con tomorrow, because I want to make sure that I know what characters these actors are playing. And I made a beeline for Trial of the Valeyard, and oh my gosh. Wow. Absolutely stunning. I don't want to spoil too much, to be honest. It's that good. It is very much a character piece. There is no Daleks, no Cybermen. The same. I don't want to say too much because it would spoil it, but for the most part it is a character piece. And it opens with the Doctor, he's monologuing. And just to put things into perspective, this opening sequence is about 8 minutes long before the theme tune even kicks in. And it just goes crazier from there. When the Inquisitor comes in, the Inquisitor and the Doctor, they bounce off of each other a lot. And the Valeyard comes in, and yeah, just the interplay between these three is Colin Baker and Michael Jason as the Valeyard. Unfortunately, at time of this review, very bad research on my part, I did not look at the name of the Inquisitor's actress, but it was absolutely brilliant. There was a constant air of mystery. The music builds up and builds up. By the end of part 1, because it's in 3 parts, but it's all like bingeable. It's just short stories, about an hour, maybe 2 hours. I'm not sure the exact length. But by the end of the first part, I was absolutely enraptured, like entangled, and just. Wow, this is a 2014 audio release. This is called Trial of the Valeyard, and just the mystery, the scheming, and the way the Valeyard speaks and does stuff in this, and what the trial leads to is fascinating, to say the least. It's kind of nonsense, but it's also just intriguing in its own right, and I absolutely loved it. This is a 9.5 out of 10 for me. A must listen. I think it costs about £8. It's a bargain, and I think anyone who is a fan of audios should listen to it. It works so well as part of this medium. So thank you all, and hopefully I'll see you all for another review soon.
Keep them coming, Aaron. That's
Master?
absolutely
Master?
fantastic. Yes,
Master?
what? It was Linda Bellingham.
Yeah, it was Linda Bellingham's last acting performance.
Yes. So it's quite nice. Yes, I've posted a link to said story via the Big Finish website on 20megabyte.2 podcast Facebook group, which you can join. Please keep them coming, Aaron. Sorry, Mary.
What did Mary want to say there?
What did he call the? What was the title of it?
Trial
of the Valeyard.
Trial. Okay. For some reason, I thought he was saying Child of the Valeyard.
Well, that would be another twist, wouldn't it?
That's an entirely different story.
Wow. But yeah, thanks, Aaron. We'll keep them coming. Fantastic. Right. So, Doctor Who news. We have it says the 14th Doctor's costume is at MCM Comic Con. That obviously doesn't affect me because I'm not going to it. But there's also the consolidated viewing figures for The Power of the Doctor, slightly better than the initial ones. The weekly consolidated ratings for the episode indicated that Jodie Whittaker's swan song, The Power of the Doctor, achieved 5.25 million viewers, making it the second most watched programme on Sunday and the fifth most watched programme overall for the week. So pretty good, that. Hey. Okay, well, I thought it was. The new issue of Doctor Who magazine, 584. We're catching up with Doctor Who magazine in regards to issues. It features David Tennant on the front in the guise of the 14th Doctor and his new sort of strange suit. It's not sort of
tartany.
It's a bit tenthy, but it's more 14th.
It's kind of tartany, isn't it? It's like almost reverse tartan.
Yeah, it's a sort of fluffy, woolly sort of. It's a bit like a ripped off.
Tartan. It's a bit like tartan.
No, it's a bit like a ripped off Captain Jack's jacket thingy going on there. And they've also confirmed.
I did see. Hold on, before you carry on, I did see a story saying how Russell T Davies said he.
I was about to bring that up.
Were you? I'll let you do it then.
No, you do it.
No, I insist, Kirby.
No.
Oh God. And then it goes quiet. I knew that would happen.
Continue.
Go on, Curbs, you did.
No, you may have more information than I have.
I probably haven't, because that was probably...
We'd be done by now. Sorry, I interrupted.
That was the extent of my knowledge on it, basically. He just said he didn't want David Tennant to appear in Jodie Whittaker's costume. Never, 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 no, or he'd cry or something.
Oh, that's a shame.
Which doesn't make sense, because he would have been fine in that costume.
Yeah, of course he would. Well, the Master appeared in it.
The bra might have been a bit chafing.
No, but the Master appeared in the costume.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a shame, but never mind. I can see why they've done it to a degree. If that's what he wants, it's a bit petty. What's petty? That's the word I was.
Wow.
Pity.
Yes, but hold on.
Pity.
If the stories, the rumours, the whatever's of what's going to happen in the next 3 episodes are right, then actually, who knows if the new Doctor doesn't actually then regenerate back into Jodie's clothes.
Who knows, indeed. But there is a shot of the new Doctor wearing the shirt and tie from the new 14th Doctor.
Really? I didn't think it was the same.
Yes.
Yeah, it's the same shot.
I thought it was a different suit.
New, same time. Anyway, so the production team has been confirmed. The latest edition of Doctor Who magazine has confirmed details of the production teams working on Doctor Who as it reaches its 60th anniversary. The anniversary will be marked by 3 specials, all scheduled to be broadcast in November 2023. The anniversary month of the series. It's
going to be like a mini-series. Do you reckon they'll do 3 in 3 weekends?
They do a Christmas special, though. They will star David Tennant, Catherine Tate as the 14th Doctor, and Donna Noble.
Donna
how they're going to get around the issues that Donna has.
Got some dudes. Have you got any dudes?
Dr. Donna scenario. And then Rachel Talalay is directing the first one. Special 2 will be directed by Tom Kingsley, new to Doctor Who. And the final special will be directed by Chania Button, also new to Doctor Who. The next full series of Doctor will be screened in 2024 and will star Ncuti Gatwa as the 15th Doctor. Filming begins this December, and directing the first block of the series will be another newcomer, Dylan Holmes-Williams. Williams' short film The Devil's Harmony won the jury prize at Sundance 2020. He directed 2 episodes of the Apple TV series Servant. The many familiar faces involved in the series as it moves into the future, as well as Russell T Davies acting as showrunner, Judy Gardner, Phil Collinson, Jane Tranter, will all act as executive producers.
Yay!
And it says
We might get some good episodes.
Yes.
Wow.
It says at 3. Don't know what it says that for. Were behind the return of Doctor Who in 2005. Joel Collins will also act as executive producer. Collins recently had been working on Bad Wolf on Industry and his Dark Materials. So Bad Wolf Productions, that is obviously. Looking for after the look of the show will be production designer Philip Sims. Sims was a supervising art director on the 6th and 7th Mission Impossible films, as well as episode 9 of Star Wars Guardians of the Galaxy 9, Avengers, Age of Ultron. Script editor will be Scott Hancock, who worked on Sarah Jane Adventures as well as many scripts of Big Finish. It's quite an exciting lineup, really, for behind the scenes there. But it has to be, because it's going to Disney+.
I wonder when we're going to find out who's going to do the music, though.
I'm doing the music for that one. What?
I thought I heard that Murray Gold was coming back.
That'd be good. There's no mention of it here.
That would be nice, but I haven't heard that yet.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't even remember where I heard it. But
Christmas is coming, guys. And at whowon.co.uk.
Is that whowon.co.uk?
And
is that actually still loads of time until Christmas? So don't mention Christmas until at least December. And considering you're doing a podcast, which will be heard by many people at times that aren't Christmas,
to this episode.
Let's not link to Christmas overly heavily, because it's not Christmas yet.
Excuse me, Ben, but people might not be listening to this episode until December, so we have
people
to
might be listening to this episode in June.
That's true as well, but then it might give them
people
some
might be listening to this episode in 20 years.
People might be listening to this episode in August in 29 years.
Doctor Who products coming soon. 8th Doctor, What Lies Inside is a Torchwood. Oh, no, it's a Doctor Who story. Hang on, let's have a look at this one. Oh, it's got the 8th Doctor in it. And his usual companions, to be fair. After the War, which is what is that? Something. Oh, Blake 7. Sorry. Death in Venice, Torchwood. 11th Doctor Chronicles 3, Geronimo. This can't be. They're not actually getting Matt Smith to play the Doctor in these, are they?
I do want to know. Tell me what.
What?
I thought you said, do you want to know? I do want to know.
I'm telling you. But it looks like it's Matt Smith, but it's difficult to see from the picture. Lots of Big Finish audios coming to you via CD, that old medium. CD at whowon.co.uk.
Who's got a way of playing CDs?
I know. What's the point in that?
Yeah, we can do downloads. Yeah, but people like CDs. Some people like vinyl. My daughter's indeed getting into vinyl. So there you go. That's,
I've got a vinyl collection worth billions inside the house. I mean, if you don't know that, then you haven't ever looked at my Facebook.
Billions? Bloody hell, that's quite a collection.
Wow.
All right. Popular. I mean, because even when I go to like Chicago TARDIS, the table with all the CD, I mean, with all the Big Finish stuff on it, they've got lots of CDs and people are snapping them up. So.
Yeah.
As far as vinyl goes, remember I took Andrew Cartmel to record stores.
It's not a competition, Kirby. Right then, Lavazi.co.uk. Now, it's obviously topical because in The Power of the Doctor there were some costumes that Kirby was wondering whether some of the items came from Lavazi. I'd probably think not, but if you wanted to get an item like those, yes, Lavazi is a perfect place. And they've just reissued the 7th Doctor umbrella, of which I have one. I use it for closing the curtains in this room, and when it's raining, it's always very useful with an iconic question mark
you
handle.
Use an umbrella when it's raining?
Yeah, it's unusual, isn't it?
Wow, there's a thing.
Yes. And you can also get the 7th Doctor's iconic question mark pullover, as seen.
I need to do that.
In The Power of the Doctor, along with the 5th Doctor's cricket jumper.
Can you get them in 1980s and 2020 size?
And rather brilliantly, Ben, you can still get the 2021 Slim Pocket Diary.
It will be fine in 2029.
Yes. I suppose if you're a time traveller, it doesn't really matter what year that was on the diary.
Or just live for another 6 years.
Okay, so that covers that aspect of the thing. I thought something. Oh yes, so we were talking about. Obviously, we got some. We can't record next week because of us lot going to London Winter Comic Con.
Oh, okay. Let me make a note of that.
Yeah, thanks for giving us so much notice.
For some reason, I still had us recording. So,
I was a bit silly,
we are not recording on the 20th.
That's
well,
correct.
actually, the World Cup starts next week anyway, so...
Oh, well, it'll be on the early hours of the morning. It won't affect the show. There won't be any games on this time of day.
Yes, there will. There's a game on at 7 o'clock for the next... starting next weekend, every night for fortnight.
No, they won't. I can keep with
This is. It's 4 games a day.
Oh, yes, it is. It's nearly
10 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 7 o'clock.
Nearly panto season, listeners. Right, so...
okay, so no 20 megabyte on
No.
the 20th. Gotcha.
No, and also the 2 weeks after that we're going to Wales Comic Con. But this is they've got the schedule.
Let me make a note of that too.
Oh Jesus, they've got the schedule.
Recording until December.
They've got a TARDIS prop up at London Comic Con Winter, where you can get pictures with Matt Smith and Colin Baker and Sylvester McCoy on set, and also. Sylvester McCoy is coming in his suit that he wore in the Power of the Doctor, and you can have some pictures taken with him on the TARDIS set with him in costume. I think that's rather cool. Harry Lloyd, of course, is coming along. He's very cheap actually, so I thought I'd get a picture with him. Matt Smith, I'm not allowed to have a picture with him because I've already had one, so it's about £100 anyway. Robert Picardo, probably. I don't think Kirby knows who Robert Picardo.
I know who he is.
I don't think you know the value of money if you're saying £100 for a photo with an actor's cheap.
I know. I didn't say it was cheap.
There's about 100 other things you could spend the money on.
I know. But,
what are you doing, man?
I'm not allowed to have that because I've already had it when he went to Wales Comic Con. It was a bit cheaper then. Jamie Campbell Bower, again.
£95.
Jamie Campbell Bower's another actor that what's his name? Kirby won't be familiar with, but he played Vecna in the last series of Stranger Things.
Yeah, why would I not be familiar?
Well, we wouldn't be familiar by the name. You might be familiar of the character that he played in.
I just visited the Vecna house last week.
Did you now?
Yeah, you didn't see. I posted pictures.
I may well have seen it and probably glossed over it. Also, with Jodie Whittaker is there on the Sunday, so I will be having a picture with her, along with Bonnie Langford and Katie Manning. Recognise any of these names, Kirby?
Yeah, I've been hugged by Katie Manning.
Oh wow!
It was amazing.
Is it? I'll see if I can get a hug with her there. So a few Doctor Who names that I haven't met yet.
I won't tell you what I did with Katie Manning in the 60s.
I think you stand out as unusual if you have not been hugged by Katie Manning.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's it. I've got to make sure I get a hug with her then. The other thing to take into consideration is that the lineup at Wales Comic Con is ridiculous.
Sorry, Mary, I thought you said humped, not humped.
Only Daleks can do that.
I'm so sorry for my ears.
Very, very,
Sorry,
very typical of you. But like I say, the lineup of Wales Comic Con is absolutely ridiculous. So they've really sort of made up for all those times where we've been let down by them. But when you've got people like Christopher Eccleston, George Takei, Michael McDowell,
it's almost as though they get paid for being there,
Nick
isn't it?
Frost. But these people this is an amazing lineup. Anson Mount, Ethan Peck, Christina Chong and Jess Bush, all from Star Trek Strange New Worlds, and Mark Sheppard's always there, we won't talk about him. Eve Miles, Gareth David Lloyd. I've seen him somewhere recently.
Yeah.
You got Eduardo Franco from Stranger Things. He played the bloke who drove the pizza van, by the way, Kirby. I don't know if you're not familiar with Stranger Things. Stefan Kepkick, who's the metal bloke in Deadpool. David Bradley, again, another actor that's played the Doctor that I haven't met yet. There's been a few other bits and bobs as well. Sean Biggerstaff, who is a particular friend of Alan Rickman. Oh, did I mention I've read Alan Rickman's diaries? What a book that is. Read it. Superb. Gemma Redgrave, Janet Fielding, Sophie Aldred, Will Mellor. There's Peter Davison in suit. This is the only convention in this country that you can have pictures with Peter Davison in the suit that he wears in Power of the Daleks.
L.I. Who, and he's going to
have
allow the same thing.
Yes. So it's very exciting. But that's why we won't be doing the show next week and 2 weeks after that when we'll be travelling to Telford for Wales Comic Con. So now we can talk about what we watched this week. Now, that'll be easy for me because I watched a couple of episodes of Strange New Worlds along with all the other sort of...
Oh, you're way behind, aren't you?
Yes, but I'm enjoying them. I just watch them. I dip in and out.
They're great.
What? I know they are.
They're great.
We finished She-Hulk. we were watching that Wrexham series on Disney Plus as well. But was well behind on that one. I'm a Celebrity started, so we tend to watch that when we're all gathered together as a family. But like I say, yesterday, was it yesterday? Was it Friday? Friday, we went to see the new Black Panther film, which is pretty good, to be fair. It's very, very beautifully made film, beautifully directed, amazingly acted. I just start falling asleep when there's lots and lots of battle sequences. That happened to me during the Lord of the Rings films, especially the third one. I actually slept through about 20 minutes, and I woke up and there was still a battle sequence going on there. So I tend to zone out when it's lots of fighting going on.
No, that's not right.
What's not right?
To zone out during battle sequences.
Yeah, well, I fell asleep. It's a long film anyway. But no, it is good, and it's an incredible performance. I'm pretty sure it will win awards. I know Black Panther won loads of awards, and it's quite heartwarming. And it's
I found out today that Fred has not seen the first one, so
watch it. It's a good
I'll
film.
have to schedule watching that with her.
It's a good film. It's a good film.
Yes,
and a really good cast too. So watched it the day it came out, which was always very nice. And there's more good Marvel stuff coming up soon. I know there's a trailer come out for Ant-Man. I haven't seen it yet, so I'm looking forward to seeing that. So the dog is snoring in the background, or it's not Andy. It is in fact Star snoring.
I'll never do that now.
So that's basically it. What have you been watching then, Ben? I bet it's been sport. Because obviously the cricket's been on, hasn't it? The T20.
Yes, the biggest thing I've been watching for the last 2 weeks has been the T20 World Cup, which England were victorious in this morning.
You spoiled that because I recorded it, and I was going to watch it after this show.
Oh, wait, really? Well,
now you don't need to.
I do. I'm still going to watch it.
Still watch it because it's worth it. It was brilliant.
I will.
So that was fantastic. What else have we been watching? We watched The Floor is Lava since the last time I've been with you.
I finished that.
Yeah, we finished that. The series are just too short. It's like they don't try.
Yeah.
It's like 5 episodes. Is that all you can make? What are you going to do tomorrow afternoon?
Do you know, I do wonder with The Floor is Lava. I wonder if they have the same sort of qualifications to be on it that you do on what's that thing that Ben's...
Love Island. You have to be a complete...
tipping point. You have to be a complete numpty.
Oh, absolutely. They're just idiots. But it's a good programme to watch. But I say the series are just too short. 5 episodes is just pathetic. Yeah. It's such a quick programme to make.
Yeah, and easy.
They could knock out 20 a day.
Yes, they could.
But
and there wasn't a celebrity special either, like there was the end of series 2. I was quite disappointed.
Well, I mean, I think the celebrities are as celebrity as they are in I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here, into the segue of what the next thing I've been watching is. Thank you, Adam.
And they do look like they injure themselves quite badly sometimes. You see the slow mos where they sort of whack their faces.
Their faces. Yeah. Oh, I know, isn't it
And then
funny?
They repeat it.
Yeah, I know. It's like I think I probably get as much enjoyment out of that as I do watching a child fall off a bike. You know, it's that kind of that kind of like warm, fuzzy feeling you get inside when you just think, that wasn't me.
That's not necessarily the opinion of the 20 Megabyte Doctor Who podcast listeners, by the way.
Oh, well. I like offending people because no one does
do
anymore.
You?
Yeah, because I'm making it my mission in life to make sure that I'm going to make it. Because, you get these people who like get offended on behalf of other people. Yes. I'm now going to start deliberately offending people on behalf of other people.
And they usually got the name Hector Tarquin or Imelda, and they're stuck on the top of gantries around the M25.
Yeah, and now I've got 2 really good ways of dealing with those people.
Air gun?
Just no. Real gun. Real gun. I mean, don't muck about, Adam. There's no point. At the end of the day, if they're willing to put themselves up there and potentially fall in front of a truck on a motorway, then you might as well shoot them off. So the other way, I was going to be a little bit more softly. Yeah. Which was get up there and drag them. No, just leave them, actually. That's the 2 options. You either just let them get on with it. Let the traffic flow beneath them, and if they fall off, it's 10 points for the driver as far as I'm concerned.
The ambulance wouldn't be able to get to them, would it?
Never mind.
Never mind, indeed.
That's their fault. But anyway, that's Just Stop Oil. My latest campaign is Just Stop Cyclists. But there'll be more about that in the press, no doubt, when I've gone to jail for it. The other things we've been watching, yes, I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here, which has got his mixed cast of no celebrities and Chris Moyles and Boy George, who have been fantastic, and now we've got Matt Handycock, who is
that's
what she said.
He's going to get a lot of trouble. I mean, I can understand why people are getting a little bit hectic. He's an MP. He's taken time off work that you're not allowed to do when you're an MP.
No.
And he's gone to earn lots of money.
Unfortunately, they do that anyway.
Yeah. So, but, at the end of the day, he's there now. You might as well just get on with it. Stop moaning. And
it's very
woman
entertaining.
At Coronation Street, Sue, whatever her name is, God, I hope she's first out. I despise her entire life. And
isn't Boy George entertaining, though? All the stuff he does.
He's a legend. The way that most of the people reacted when they came in is how you should react when you see Boy George. How that Owen bloke from Hollyoaks reacted is how you react if you're 20 and an idiot. Yeah. So there's that. What else? Watched Man United earlier. That was very good. But the thing I've been mostly watching, I've gone back.
Sorry, but I just want to interrupt you in regards to Man United, because I know a lot of geek people are allegedly geeks or nerds, according to the write-up of the County Press, are also football fans. But that new player, I spotted him, the one who scored the winner in that game, in the earlier game, and I was just remarking, he's just like bloody a new Ronaldo. He's amazing.
Garnacho, he's fantastic. He's been in the. I have the MUTV.
But Leeds have a similar player.
And he's been playing for the reserves the last couple of years. He's been absolutely tearing out. It was so obvious he should have been in the first team, but his attitude was wrong apparently, and now his attitude's right, and now he's going to be an absolute megastar.
Yes.
But the thing I've been watching mostly is, I've gone back to watching some live football. That's soccer for the American counterparts of ours. I've been going back to watch my local team Farnborough, which is good, and because I've been going back there, it was quite funny. I walked in the first time a couple of weeks ago, and some bloke, because I used to go there like 30 years ago, massive fan, travelled around the whole country watching them for about 5 or 6 seasons, didn't miss a game. And it's this non-league club, this is quite a small club for the Americans. And the English people who haven't heard of Farnborough, I suppose, and he's quantifying too. And so, I went back, and a couple of the people I knew 30 years ago standing behind the goal, one of them was on the turnstile, and he was like, "Oh, you used to work in radio, didn't you?" And I was like, "Yeah, I used to." And he's like, "Well, we started a radio station, but it's all kind of fallen apart. Do you want to run it?" And I was like, "Yeah, all right." And so it turns out, as from a couple of weeks' time, I'm going to be doing the commentary on the Farnborough matches.
Whoa, that's fantastic!
It is really cool, because that means that I can then. The plan is do that for this year, do Farnborough for the rest of this season. Next season, try and get on some small football channel I don't know, Virgin Media or something, BT Sports maybe, Sky Sports the season after, and then commentary on the World Cup for the BBC in 4 years' time.
Yep, why not?
I'll still see if I can pop into the podcast occasionally though.
Thanks, Ben.
But I think that's all we've been watching.
I wanted to mention, I was talking about the stuff we've been watching. I forgot to mention properly about the Alan Rickman Diaries. If you get a chance to get the audio book or indeed the actual book of that, it is absolutely fascinating. I'll probably listen to it again because I'm sure I've missed bits. Brilliant stuff, and it's very moving as well. But I can't tell you why.
You can, but it'll be a spoiler.
Well, no, because it will be a spoiler. It's just, especially if you listen to audio, but the audiobook
don't spoil it.
Has extra bits in it which you only get because of the voices involved in the thing, which you don't actually get in the written one. And audiobooks are fab anyway, because you can listen to them wherever you like, and it's the book. Alan Rickman Diaries, fantastic stuff. And there are references to Doctor Who and Michael Gambon, in fact, because Alan Rickman had a very wide group of friends, all sort of based around being members of the Labour Party and Ruby Wax and the other people that were, sort of friends with the Ruby Wax at that time. It's just fascinating. The name dropping is superb. It's great. It really is. Anyway, so that's the Alan Rickman Diaries. What have you been watching this week then, Kirby?
The main thing that I've watched now 3 times is Weird, the Al Yankovic story.
The what?
What, you haven't heard of that?
Say again. What story?
The Al Yankovic story.
No.
What is Al Yankovic?
Weird. Yeah, Weird Al. It's a parody of biographical movies.
Okay.
And it's hilarious.
Is that it?
It's
stopped.
It's like it's like his songs. It's a parody. It's not really his life, and it stars oh darn, what's the name of the actor who played Harry Potter?
Daniel Radcliffe.
Yeah, Daniel Radcliffe plays Weird Al, and Weird Al has a role in it as a evil record producer who berates Al as he's going to be never have any hits whatsoever. And it's got all Emo Phillips as Salvador Dali, just all kinds of cameos, and it's and there's a love affair between Weird Al and Madonna, which does not happen in real life.
No, doesn't it?
It's hilarious. Make an effort to find it. It's on the Roku channel.
Okay.
I think it's on Disney in the UK. I might be wrong.
Okay.
So no, that's basically it. I started rewatching Princess Bride yesterday because I needed something in the background that wouldn't distract me as I was doing some organizing down here in the geek basement. But that's basically it. I'll try and watch more by next week.
Kirby.
Wait, there isn't a next week.
No, there isn't.
There will be a next week. It's just you won't be recording a podcast. Unless, of course, you're privy to some information from a good old Vlad that no one else knows about yet.
Right. Okay. Right. Yeah. Vlad Putin. Yeah. Well, that's another song, isn't it? Right then. So, right, Kirby, brace yourself. Okay, because like we did mention that next week.
That's never a good start to a sentence, Kirby.
Next week we're off because of London Comic Con, and we're back for the 26th and 27th. But the week after that is Wales Comic Con.
I have made that.
Pardon?
I've made that note.
No, but brace yourself, because the week after that I'm filming the Theatre Train shows. So I won't be available then afterwards.
Wait, what week is that?
The 10th and 11th of December I'll be filming the Theatre Train shows. So that brings us to the 18th of December is likely to be the last show. That although Deb is supposed to be filming something that day, I'm not quite sure what's going on.
So we're having very few.
Well, I can't help it. It's called being busy.
No, that's fine. That's fine.
But yeah, so possibly on the 18th. I just don't know what's going on in regards to filming that day. I might actually be filming because it does. But I think Deb's volunteered to film something, and there's also the Earl Mountbatten Hospice thing that Lorraine, I was supposed to be working with for the con before she left Weston's Cancer Trust and moved to the.
Presumably, we will not be filming on December the 25th.
We'll never film, Kirby.
I wasn't planning to film on December the 25th. No, Kirby.
Sorry to be pedantic, Kirby. I don't know where I've got it from.
You kept saying filming.
Be prepared, listeners and co-producers. After the co-presenters, that after the next recording on the 27th, it might be the last one of 2022, simply because of my work schedule.
And it's happened before. Don't worry about it.
It's piling
We've had sparse Decembers before.
Yes, it's annoying, isn't it? But there you go. Things should pick up fairly normally in the new year. But as of the rest of this year, yes, it's a bit tight on the scheduling front. Mary, have you got a bit of music for Mary, Ben, or are we just going to pile straight into Mary's?
Mary Blitzang's stuff that she's watched. I'm bang on it.
Baseball season is over. So now moved seamlessly on into basketball season.
Yay, which is on Sky now, so I must get around to watching some.
So my favorite team to follow is the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Mine's Chicago Bulls, and they're not very good, are they?
Now they're doing really well. So that's who I spend most evenings watching that. I just finished season 4 of Game of Thrones, so I'm just starting season 5. I don't know if any of you have done the whole Game of Thrones.
So you've watched series 1 that had Clive Mantle in it, then?
It had who?
Clive Mantle.
Oh, okay. And I just finished up House of the Dragon, which is the spin-off from Game of Thrones.
Yes,
so that season
has just
finished.
She thoroughly enjoyed it.
Watched a movie recently called Don't Worry, Darling. It's very bizarre. It's very sci-fi. It's kind of a Stepford Wives, but done in a very
Is that the one with Harry Styles and
yeah.
what's her name?
Don't remember
Florence
their name
Pugh.
beyond Harry
Florence
Styles,
Pugh,
but it's interesting. Very interesting thing to watch. Outside of that, not much. But basketball is what's keeping me mostly occupied.
Well,
and in terms of Big Finish, I'm listening to the Ninth Doctor's latest box set called Return to Earth. It's just really good. I just really, really enjoy Eccleston. He's such a good doctor. So anybody who is into Big Finish, I recommend that box set.
Well, thank you. Obviously, I'm filling in some gaps by the end of the year. I should have met or had picture taken with all of the doctors after Tom Baker. So I'm quite pleased about that.
Is Eccleston doing
apart from John Hurt? I can't get John Hurt, sadly. Is he what?
Is Eccleston doing cons?
Wales Comic Con.
Oh, okay,
yes.
Okay.
That's him and David Bradley are at that one. So that's I've missed David Bradley about 3 or 4 times because either I've been at the event when on the day he's not there, or the event's been cancelled, or he hasn't been able to attend. So I'm keeping my fingers crossed for that one. So yes, as we alluded to, next week's London Comic Con, the week after that, hopefully, touching wood, we'll be able to start with Impossible Astronaut, I think it's called, isn't it, Kirby?
Yes.
Do you know, I accidentally watched that a couple of weeks ago.
How could you accidentally watch it?
Because I was, I just got in from work and I just turned the telly on, and whatever was being watched on whatever channel it was the night before, that episode was just starting as I turned the telly back on when I got home for my tea.
So did you finish watching it?
No. No.
Okay, let's see what's coming through on the live feed. Absolute bobbins, as Ben would say, unless I'm very much mistaken, it's not refreshed properly. But according to my bit here, there's nothing come through for an hour. People are watching, so hello. But as far as stuff coming through, I don't think anything's come through. No, nothing. Unless it's just the Mac not updating properly. So until next time, thank you for listening, watching, taking part in the show. Batty tie.
Goodbye, fancy fans.
Bye-bye.
Have it.
20 Megabyte Doctor Who podcast is an APV Services production sponsored by whowon.co.uk, lavazi.co.uk. We are a proud member of the Doctor Who Podcast Alliance. Doctor Who is a trademark of the BBC. No copyright infringement intended.